Hello and welcome to my channel Information Hub. So today we will read about reproduction in plants. So there are two ways for reproduction in plants. The first one is sexual reproduction and the second one is asexual reproduction. So first we will read about asexual reproduction. In asexual reproduction only one parent cell is involved. There are many ways for asexual reproduction and also there are many ways for sexual reproduction also. So in asexual reproduction just one male was one parent plant cell, either it will male or female. So first we will do budding. In budding is mainly done in yeast. A bulb-like project protrudes from the body of the parent organism, which is known as bud, as you can see in the picture. It at last detach from the parent and make a new plant. Second one is fragmentation. A parent plant is divided into many parts, and the many parts became a new plant. Next is spore formation. So a spore formation is a method of asexual reproduction which is found in non-flowering plants such as fungi and bacteria. In this method, the parent plant produces many of tiny spores which grow into new plant. Mainly example is Pharyngia. Next we will read about vegetative proportion. The type of reproduction done with root, stem or leaf is known as vegetative proportion. So there are many ways for natural method of vegetative proportion. So they can be either grow from horizontal stem or from underground stem. So let us begin with vegetative proportion. The first one is runner, as you can see in the picture. A runner is a slender branch that creeps along the soil and form many roots at the nodes and grow into a new plant, as you can see in the picture. One node is connected to other and connected to other. In this a runner is running and it gives many plants. So the next one is stolon. Stolon are lateral slender branches that initially grow upwards and slowly droop to the ground. These stems form roots and buds that soon grow into daughter plants, as you can see in the picture. It gives daughter plants from the roots. So the next one is offset. An offset is a short horizontal branch that arises from the axil of the leaf. As you can see in the picture, it arises from the axil of the leaf. So in this, the branch elongates to the certain length, means it goes in the certain length and then produces leaf at the knot. And a cluster of roots that fix to the ground, the offset often breaks from the mother plant. It also breaks from the mother plant, leaving the daughter plant. The daughter plant then grows into an independent plant body. For example, you know that is water lily. Next, we will read about suckers. Suckers grows from underground part of the main stem, develop roots underground and grow obliquely upwards, giving rise to a new plant. So you can see the plant is connected from the stem, giving rise to the new plant, and it is having its roots in the same root. So next we will going to be vegetative proportion through underground stem. The first one is tuber. So in a potato, if you left it few days like that, you will observe small leaves or small green color plants on its surface. These are called eyes. If the piece of containing eye is cut and planted in the soil, it develops root and shoots which gives into a new plant. Next is bulb. In onion bulb, the upper end of the stems bear a terminal bud. If you left onion for some day in a moisture area, you will see a green colored stem will arise from its upper side. This is known as bulb. You can cut and grow it in the leaf. So next we will come to rhizome. Rhizome comes under ginger and have scaly leaves at the node. The axil of the scaly leaf has buds which grows into a new shoot upwards. So you can see in the picture it grows into a new leaf upward. Next comes corm. Corm are swollen stems. They bear buds on the axil of the scaly leaves which grow into new plants. As you can see in the picture, it is a corm which gives a new part and it grows into a new plant. Next we will read vegetative proportion through roots. Some plants like sweet potato and dahlia have irregular shaped swollen roots. The roots are called tuberous roots. These roots have small buds which give rise to a new plant which they planted in the soil, as you can see in the picture. Next comes vegetative proportion through leaves. Plants like Birophyllum, in Hindi we can call it Birophyllum is a group. So many are there. For example, you can take that Pathachatta. In Hindi it is known as Pathachatta. So it produces buds from the margin of the leaves. These buds drop off the leaf and fix themselves to the ground and later grow into a new plant. So a new system is developed from a root. So this is a vegetative proportion through leaves, as you can see in the picture. Next we will read artificial methods of vegetative proportion. The first one is cutting. The method is carried out in plants such as hibiscus. You can cut the stem, means the another thing is good, and you plant it in another where it will give you a new plant. So this is done in cutting. Next is grafting. Grafting involves two plants of the same species. A stem cutting from one plant is inserted into a groove of the second plant, which is rooted to the ground. The cut part of the stem is called scion. The second part to the which the scion is attached is known as stalk. So we can attach it and grow a new plant. This is known as grafting. Next comes layering. So what is done in layering? A part of branch of a plant is bent down and covered with soil. The remaining part of the branch remains above the ground. A heavy brick is placed over the layered soil, which is watered regularly. Once the roots start developing, new shoots start to grow from the ground. The branch can then be cut from the parent plant. So as you can see in the picture, it can be cut from the parent plant because it has developed the roots, so you can do anything with it. Next comes tissue culturing. So it is a modern method of vegetative proportion in plant. In this method, a piece of tissue, means a tissue piece from the parent plant, is cut and placed in a growth medium and is facilitated with favorable condition for the growth of tissue. After some time, this tissue from small mass of undefined cell called callus. The callus is then cut into smaller pieces and transferred into liquid, semi-solid or solid growth media, where the cells differentiate the grow to form plantlet after some time after the plantlet and transfer into small pot which soil before they are transferred into the field. This is mostly done in mint. In mint, this is mostly done. Now we will read the advantages of vegetative proportion. So vegetative reproduction is very useful for plant growers as they can large quantities of new plant in short time. The newly produced plant have the exact characteristics and that of the parent plant. It is easy to produce new varieties of plant with the required characteristics through vegetative proportion. Vegetative plants grow faster than plants grown from seed. Means if you grow a plant from seed, it will take at least 1 week to sprout, but vegetative plants will grow faster and need less attention. Means you don't have to pay many attention during the early stages of growth. Fruit without seeds, disease and drought resistant plant can be produced during this method. Means you can if you want you can use seed for growing, but in this vegetative proportion you don't have to use seed. It is a disease free plant and you does not have to if you give so much water to them, you don't have to worry because it is a drought resistant plant. So this method is very helpful. Next we will read about sexual reproduction. So what is sexual reproduction? In sexual reproduction, the fusion of male and female gamete is involved. So they give in a flower. The outermost hole of a flower consists of a green leaf-like structure called sepals. The next hole consists of brightly colored petals. Stamen is the male part of the flower. It has a long filament with an elongated sac-like structure as a tip called the anther, as you can see in the picture. The ovule is the female part, ovary is the female part, sepal is the covering. The petals you can see an anther and filament is together known as stamen, which is the male part. Stigma is the area where the pollen grain stick, and the style is the tube. These three ovaries, style and stigma together known as pistil. The pistil is the female part of the flower. It has tube-like structure called the style, as you can see in the picture. The style is the oval shape at the base. This is the ovary, which contains the ovule. The tip of the style is sticky and called the spina, where the pollen grains stick. Flowers have both stamens and pistil are called bisexual flower. Means if they have the both the male and female part, it is called bisexual, and they are also known as complete flower. Flowers with only the male part or the female part is known as unisexual flower or incomplete. So the pollination, when the pollination occurs, so what happens to the first thing I will tell, the process of transfer of pollens from the anthers, means the male part, to the stigma of the pistil, means the female part, is known as pollination. It can be done in two ways, self-pollination and cross-pollination. So in a self-pollination, bisexual plant can be used. It is the main thing that bisexual plant should be there, but in a cross-pollination it can be also the bisexual plant or the unisexual plant. So first we will read about self-pollination. Self-pollination occurs when pollen from one flower pollinate the same flower or the other flower of the same. Next, cross-pollination. Cross-pollination occurs when the pollen from one flower pollinate the flower of the different plant of the same. Other than this, there are many ways for pollination. So let us read about that. So what are the agent of pollination? So the first one is insect pollination, mostly carried by honeybees and other insect in a light flower, which attract them and they take the pollen with them and attach it to other flower. Next is wind pollination. Wind blows the pollen and attach to other thing. And the third one is water pollination. So pollination occurs by water, by some aquatic plant release their pollen in the water, which are carried by water and attached to the other plant. Now let us read about artificial pollination. It is a widely used technique. It is done mostly by human. Artificial pollination. So the technique is widely employed to cross speed up crop plant to obtain plant with desirable characteristics like high yield, disease resistant, high nutrition value and flavor. Steps involved in the artificial pollination are selection of plant, means the two varieties of plant should be desirable characteristics. Removal of stem, means the stamen from the bisexual flower of a plant should be removed and the flower should be mature. Bagging, flowers are covered with paper bag to prevent natural pollination. Pollination, when this flower matured, the pollen grains of the other plant are dusted over their stigma. The seeds that are produced are planted and raised. So next we will read about fertilization. In simple form, the process of fusion of male and female gamete is known as fertilization. The fertilized cell is known as zygote. The ovules develop into a seed and ovary is a fruit. The zygote is the first cell formed after fertilization. The zygote divides and develops and form embryo. Cells inside the embryo become differential and develop into shoot and root. Means the pollen is stick to the stigma and it goes to the ovary, which gives egg cell to the ovary, which develops into a zygote, and the zygote then develops into a fruit. So this is so next we will read about fruit and seed formation. So the function of the flower is to help in fertilization. After fertilization, the flower became redundant, means the flower become dull. So the sepal wither, means the sepal goes. Then the corolla wither. Corolla also goes, followed by the withering of stigma. Stigma also goes. Stamens and style, they also goes. The ovary then develops into a fruit. The ovary then develop into a fruit. And the ovules inside the ovary develop into a seed. As you can see in the picture, the first is a complete flower, the petals go, the sepals go, all the things go, then it is a seed only from the ovules. So at last I would like to say these are the things done in a for the reproduction of plant. If you like the video, please like, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching.